And we are getting connected. There we go. Okay, we are live. Hey, Collins and hey,
Awesome.
Balaji. Yeah, it's a pleasure
Hi.
to have you, hosting you guys today for today's webinar. And we have people joining in as we speak. We have Mary, we have Steve. Hey, guys, please tell us which part of the world you are from. Hey, Dan is here. Hey, Dan. So before we get started with the product and everything, so please meet Collins, please meet Balaji. A couple of team members from the whole amazing Simpu team. So there's like a very big team behind them. So we're going to ask, let's take a few minutes, like a couple of minutes, to hear about Collins, Balaji, and also a few words about Simpu and what made you guys to build Simpu and how far Simpu has come. So before Collins start with that, so I just want to add a quick note here, kind of like a trivia. I spoke to Collins back in 2021 about featuring Simpu on SaaS Mantra, and then the product was in early stage, and then it has gone through a lot of iterations. It has come a very long way. So, and finally we got Simpu featured 2 years after, which means like there is like plenty of work has went into it, and they also went on to get featured on Techstars and several other places, and the product has come a long way. I can brag a lot about it, but then I would love to hear directly from Collins and Balaji in today's webinar before we get started with the product. So Collins, Balaji, stage is yours, guys.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Collins, co-founder and CEO of Simpu, and my colleague Balaji is here with me. I mean, our journey is really, I would say our journey is, as Sam had said, our journey is really like, it's been over 2 years now. We first initially started out with the idea of, sort of just bringing all communication into one place, and making it really simple, because again, our name, the company name is Simpu, and we're sort of blessed and cursed with the name, so we launched this in 2021, and Sam had reached out and we kind of talked a bit, but we weren't quite there yet, and so we decided, like, we looked at the competition, look at the space, and realized that, okay, we're a bit far off from the ideal state, for businesses to be able to find value. And so we sort of just went back and doubled down pretty much into building. And, we've spent a sizable amount of time building Simpu so far, and, getting also a lot of interest. So when we did build, we decided to launch on Product Hunt, which is an interesting time for us. We launched on Product Hunt. We're the 4th app of the day globally, and everything sort of just started to take off from there. We got into an accelerator, Techstars, and, also raised a bunch of funds, and, just got lots of users. Over 2,000 users had joined the platform, and, and also paying customers, and just giving us the ability to sort of like iterate on customer features and feedback. And, we're at this stage right now where we think that we're quite comfortable with what we have built, and, and we're also looking to, giving this to the community, seeing what you guys think about it. And just a little about the team. I'll let Balaji talk about some of the features some of the things we've done. But, Simpu is a small team. It's a small team of engineers, just really trying to build out the future against like really big competition. And, we're just at that stage where, like I said, we're super comfortable with what we're building. And, Balaji can sort of just talk you through some of the new features and some of the things that we have, sort of brought into the product.
Excellent. So thank you. Thanks for. Sorry, go ahead, Balaji, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Collins. Collins already mentioned, so beyond what we currently have on the SaaS Mantra, the websites, we also have like a couple interesting updates that we're also going to be rolling out. I mean, we've been engaging with some of the community already, and we've even gotten like feedback, and we have so many interesting updates that are also going to be coming. And before the end of the year, we are rolling out like a mobile app already to like some of the features that we already have in the app, just to make sure that people can communicate on the go. We also have like a knowledge base feature that's coming up later this, and so many interesting features that we'll keep the community aware of we're getting like constant feedback from the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. And Sam, which part of the world you are tuning in from? So please let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. And if you have like any questions, so keep them coming. So Dan, Daniel, Mohammed, Corey, Steve. So there is like a bunch of questions that's been like shot yesterday when we launched in the Facebook group. So I have organized those questions. So we will go through those questions one by one. But then first, we're going to have a complete walkthrough of the product from the founder himself, like Collins. He's going to give us a full walkthrough of the product. And then we are going to discuss a couple of interesting use cases, which I feel that many of you would find interesting and also super matching for your requirements as well. So once that is done, both of them are covered, we are going to jump into the Q&A. So you have like plenty of time to keep your questions coming. Keep them coming. Don't hold anything back, because like we could get all the answers, all the clarity that you need to make your purchase comfortable today. So that's a goal. And Collins, please have a complete detailed product walkthrough. I mean, no one knows the product better than you do. So you're the boss, and you're
Sure.
the one to walk us through the product.
Sure, I'm happy to do this. So at the core of Simpu is what we call the ultimate shared inbox between teams and in the organization and in your business, and also for personal use, right? And what we try to achieve with Simpu is really like, can you set up as many inboxes based on the kind of situation that the business has? So you may have multiple departments. You could have a finance department, you could have an engineering department, a sales department, marketing department. Pretty much you're able to set up as many inboxes for these departments. And at the core of an inbox is sort of built around channels. You're able to sort of set up an inbox, and you're also able to set up like what I would call including channels. And these channels could range from like emails to WhatsApp to Twitter to Instagram to Messenger to SMS. You're able to connect all these channels into this specific inboxes. So a great use case would be, a good example of this would be you sort of setting up like a sales team, and you may have an email address. You may have an email address, or you may have an email address that's specifically for sales. So it could be sales at Sales Mantra, or it could be sales at Simpu. You may want to include that email into this inbox, or you may have specific WhatsApp phone numbers that customers reach out to you on. And you may want to include that into this inbox. And so we allow you create these inboxes, and then we also allow you give access. So it could be access based on your teams. You could create really specific teams based on your organizational structure, or you could also, add specific individuals into an inbox. So we have already set up a bunch of teams that we use internally here. So we have Team Simple, founders, marketing team, sales team, and then you can, sort of add those teams, or you can actually pick specific people in the team, which are employees or guests, and you can invite them into that inbox. And once you do that, you then have the ability to then add channels. So channels is at the heart of an inbox. You can add Gmail. We have very native integrations for what we have. So emails, we have a direct Gmail integration, we have Outlook integration, but then we also know that like if you're on neither Gmail or G Suite or Outlook, you can, if you have your own private email servers, or you can also bring that in to Simple and make it like super easy. But if you do have like the specific channels, you can sign in directly, and Simple would give you the prompts, and then you'd get the right information connect the accounts. We also give you the ability to connect like WhatsApp, which WhatsApp is really huge. But we're giving you the ability to create we have two direct WhatsApp connections. We have the WhatsApp for business, which we could, I would say, you would be able to connect. You would have to provide a number. We walk you through a bunch of steps. And then once your phone number gets verified, you're able to include it into Simpu. But we also built out a WhatsApp that you can really just get started with right away. It's a version of your WhatsApp for web. Same experience with you using WhatsApp on your desktop, but then this is just sort of brought into your organization. So it's not just messages. You have messages, you have WhatsApp groups, you have every experience that WhatsApp gives you on the desktop, except voice calling and video calls, you can pretty much do in this. And it's really easy. You take up your WhatsApp phone and pretty much just scan the barcode, and immediately your messages start to show up in Simpu. And of course, you're able to also connect Instagram and Messenger, and we have it really easy. We've made it like super easy for you to be able to do that. And also, we give you a live chat, so you can embed this live chat on your website, and you can also embed it on your mobile application. So you can go through the whole process of setting up one. And once you're done, we also include chatbots that you can sort of just bring into the live chat. So the whole experience is pretty much being able to, set up an inbox, connect the right channels the right channels into that inbox. And then you can also set up specific rules that you want on that inbox. So a good example would be, I might want to set up a rule that says, if I receive a message and the message content has a tag called sales, assign it to Collins or assign it to Bolaji immediately. So Simple allows you to set up these inboxes with very specific rules. You can set up these rules based on certain triggers. So a good example, if an outbound message is received, and you have a tag, and you want and a teammate is assigned or a teammate is removed. You have this really specific rule sets, and then you also have things that you could do. So if an email subject contains urgent, you can set up like a rule for that. And so when Simple notices you receive an email that says urgent or that says payment or whatever, Simple can categorize based on the action that you want. So if you want Simple to, target, assign it to a teammate, remove a tag, reply with a template message, Simple allows you to do all of that, at setup. And then you can go to rules and create these accounts, on these rules, and then you can apply them to inboxes that you want. So I'm just going to go back, and then, and then of course you can have your settings for your inbox. You may want a specific inbox to get reports. And then you also may want certain inboxes to also not get reports. It's extremely flexible based on how you choose to run your business. We give you all the other features that allow you, do emails great. So you get to create your signatures. You get to create tags, very specific tags. You also get to create super responsive canned responses. Where these are templated messages you can fire out. If customers or your users keep repeating the same things. We also give you the ability to bring in integrations. So we support a number of direct integrations right out of the box, and we're adding a bunch of newer integrations. So for businesses that are in e-commerce, we give you direct Shopify integrations. We give you WooCommerce integrations. We also give you Magento integrations, direct integrations. And then if you're also looking to bring in a CRM and you use HubSpot, or we allow you connect that HubSpot directly to Simple. We also allow you connect Zoom, and we have Jira direct integration. So for your project management, you can connect Jira into Simple. And then we have a custom integration called Mambo. This is for banking, core banking. So microfinance banks and large banks use Mambo as a core banking solution. Simple is able to connect directly into this. And of course, you have chatbots. You're able to set up very specific chatbots that customers can talk to and get responses directly. So Simple gives you that, for the organization, gives you that ability to set up an inbox and put in a bunch of really interesting stuff in there. And we also allow you to do the same for your personal inbox. So we don't just give you an organizational inbox, but then you could also use this as a personal inbox tool. So I've connected my personal email to this, and you can connect your work emails to this as well. It's part of your package. And you're able to sort of like respond to messages. You get all these messages. So I have a personal inbox where I get my notifications and my emails, and I can respond to my emails. So this is an example of a live email here. I can respond to this email. I can, you get the same desktop, the same world-class email service that you get in Gmail. You can have that for your personal use. And of course, you have things like favorites and your ability to snooze. You have the ability to snooze a message. You have great filters. You can select filters based on like if the message is on read, if the message, the time you receive the message. You also can filter specifically by channel. So Simpu gives you all of that. And you have the ability to sort of switch between a typical, tab view to a list view, in case you're looking to have that customer support type experience with your emails or with your messages. So that is at the core of receiving messages. Then we've set up a bunch of inboxes. So we have one called general inquiries, and all these messages sort of come in there, and we're able to deal with these messages. You have the ability to read a message, assign a message to a teammate. So you just received this message, and this message can be sent out to a teammate. We have the ability to allow you assign messages specifically to team members, or you have the ability to send it to entire teams. We also give you the ability to, invite people to a message. So there's this concept where someone sends you a message, and it's specifically into an inbox, which may be, let me give you a good example. So you set up a support inbox, and in this support inbox, somebody sends a message saying that your app has a bug, or your app has a bug, and maybe sends a bunch of screenshots. And you may have your developer, your software developers, or your software engineering team on Simpu. You may want to invite them directly into the conversation, but not like they would respond to the ticket or the message. They can provide internal context to the conversation. So Simpu allows you to do that, with what we call an internal chat. So you can mention them into the conversation. I'm just going to invite Bolaji to this conversation and tell him, let's check this out. Check this out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. And I'm just going to send it. And Bolaji can get a notification. And Bolaji and I can have conversations on this message thread, on this email thread, without the customer seeing it. We can add specific tags to this conversation. I'm going to put a tag to this. I'm going to call it pending. Then I can mark this as unread. I can copy the conversation ID. I can view this conversation in an external window. I can also see more details of the conversation. So you can see it here. If there was an attachment, we give you a very quick way to find everything. So if someone else has read the message, you would see the person here. Right now, no one, Bolaji hasn't come in, but when Bolaji reads the message, you see Bolaji here, attachments. You get all the message details pretty much. And we can see that Bolaji is on. I can see that Bolaji is also viewing the message, the conversation in real time. So Bolaji's picture has sort of shown up here, and Bolaji can have conversations, and we can start to have chats, internal chats with this user. And then of course, if this message isn't in the right inbox, we can actually move this message from general inquiries. We can move it to careers, or we can move it to sales. Messages can be moved around inboxes, and that's the beauty of having a shared inbox service. Yeah, so this is at the core of what Simpu allows customers. I mean, allows you or your customer, your colleagues or your agents to be able to do at the core. And then of course you get a CRM, a contact CRM, which allows you sort of, keep details of everybody you're having conversations with in real time. And yeah, you can get more details on this contact, where this contact is contacting you from. So this is an Instagram conversation. We can also impute data about this customer based on the fields that we want to capture. We can attach attachments, we can find conversations, you can do all of these in real time. And yeah, you can also have account specific. We can actually have account specific users. So we allow you set up what we call accounts. So you can put in a domain and say, okay, I want Simpu to help classify all SaaS Mantra conversations into one place, and Simpu would look at the domain. So if I've had a conversation with Sam, I've had someone else on the team, Simpu will look at the SaaS Mantra domain and sort of bring all of those conversations and create a specific account. So in case you're doing account-based support or account-based marketing, you can use this structure. You can use this structure that Simpu provides. You also get analytics. You get a detailed analytics, and we made analytics super flexible. So you get a grocery of all the analytics terms. So we added a quick grocery so you can see the things that we display on the dashboard, on the overview dashboard. But we also make it super flexible, so you can actually determine what you want to show on the screen. And Simpu allows you to, so I'm going to try and see ongoing conversations. I'm going to see processing time. I want to see total number of messages sent and total number of messages received. And yeah, Simpu would, just go in, get the data and sort of refresh the data, in real time based on the number of days or either teammates or either like inboxes. You have that flexibility. You also get changes over time, so you can see first response time. You can see the changes in the way you're messaging or your teams are messaging. You also have the ability to switch from line chat to bar chat. You also see the response time, so you can see response time. You can see how good your team is doing and how good your team members are doing in real time based on all of these metrics. So Simpu allows you to sort of just filter in real time. You also get a teammates view, so you can track teammates performance around the analytics. So you can see how many people, what kind of conversations they are having. You can see all of that in real time. But then you can also filter down the kind of information you want to pre-populate on a table and the time range that you want to do this. We also give you what we would call an ability to find all kinds of conversations. So in real time, you can actually go and say, I'm looking for a conversation that was dealt with by Collins, and Collins in this team. You have this really granular way to filter by dates, by teammates, by teams, by channels, by statuses. You can find any conversation in real time. Then you also have tags. You have analytics on the tags. So Simpu allows you how many conversations have been tagged, how many have been untagged, and what's the ratio to tag to untagged. We give you all of that data. You can also play with the metrics. And then of course, most importantly, we give you CSAT. So you can actually track customer satisfaction in real time, and you can see this based on teammates. You can filter this based on teammates. You can also filter this based on channels specifically that is provided. And then the ability to sort of export data in case you want to export your data and put it in your HR or performance tracking software. Simpu allows you to export that data in real time. And at the core, that's really what Simpu really allows you to do. It allows you have conversations, assign conversations to people, get mentioned in conversations, track your mentions, talk to customers in real time. You're able to sort of use it the way you typically use your inbox. We sort of modeled, we didn't want it to be too business-ish, and at the same time wanted it to be personal, where you could sort of balance how you use it with no fuzz. And at the heart of everything, we have great search. Your ability to sort of search through conversations in real time. Simpu can repopulate all these conversations. Great, fast, quick search. And then we also give you notifications. You can track your notifications in real time. And also, we have this product. We have this thing when you log in, you're able to see like product features, because we're always shipping products features in real time. Every other 2 weeks, we ship new stuff. And so you're definitely going to, see a lot more integrations and a lot more stuff real time. I think this is at the core of, I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm happy to answer, but this is at the core of Simpu. You can fiddle around. You have business hours. You can set up specific business hours based on your time zone, based on how you work. Simpu allows you to set all these things up. You can set up a business hour, for example, where once it's past the business hour, Simpu can send an automated message to the customer to say, hey, we're out of the office. You can do that. You can customize it the way you want. We also give you the ability to set up teams. Like I said, you can set up specific teams, create teams, add employees, your team members into specific teams. So it's super easy for you to manage, your users, your employees. And then you also have the ability to invite people in. You have the ability to invite guests into Simpu as well. And just a general company overview, change your logo. We've sort of made this super easy for you to be able to go through each of the steps. And then we have, so I think this is, and then of course, finally, you can manage your notifications. So we have a really granular way to manage notifications. You can get them via emails. You can get sounds. We allow you to also pre-populate sounds, sort of like Slack, in real time. And if you use, if you've upgraded to the latest Safari, if you've upgraded to the latest Mac OS, you can, just sort of create a desktop app out of Simpu in like a minute, quite literally, and have it on your dock and just pretty much just use it. I will just show you that. I have one on my dock. So let me just show you that real quick. Okay, that's on my, I'm just going to try and open a Safari and just make one real quick for you. Just give me a second.
Colin's quick note, like we lost the screen, like
I know.
has been stuck. Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm just trying to find I'm just trying to share your Safari screen. So let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
So yeah, I'm just gonna, so this is on Safari. I'm just gonna log in on Safari very quickly. And yeah, should show you. So yeah, so once you're able to log in, you have the ability to, so you're just gonna come here and you're going to click add to dock, and immediately you do that. That's straightforward. You can see, I don't know if you can see my dock now.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so you can see this is Simpu on the dock. And so you have a desktop. It's sort of like, it's not an Electron app. It's just the same desktop experience. You can, just use that. And so anytime you need to do work, you can just put it on your dock and basically just, just use it. It's the same experience that you have And then I'm just seeing right now that Bolaji has responded to my message. He says, yeah. I think I think we could go ahead with this. Yeah, and I think there are two other people on this conversation right now. So this is a quick overview of what Simpu can do. Of course, you have this sidebar menu, that you can see more details. And then once you bring in integrations into Simpu, you can actually see data from those integrations in real time on the sidebar menu of Simpu. So yeah, happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Yeah, we have like tons of questions. So firstly, thanks for like such a super detailed demo. Really appreciate that. So fam, if you like the detailed demo, please type 1 in the comments in the chat so we'll know. Meanwhile, we'll take on the questions one by one. So like when you are giving the demo, I see Balaji has been super busy answering some of those questions. So, but I'll just pull it up so that everyone who has missed it out to read the answers, they all would know. So, are chatbots included in the deal? So, Balaji or Collins, do you want to address that question?
Mr. Balaji, please shoot.
Yeah. So currently the plans that we have mapped. So we currently have the map to our basic and pro plans. So currently our basic and pro plans don't support chatbots, but we've been getting a lot of feedback, and something we are actually considering adding to one of the plans. So yeah, subsequently we'll make communication. So this queue for most likely that is one of the plans as an update.
Yeah, perfect. So Daniel, that is your answer. So chatbots is currently not being being one of the plans based on their website pricing for the monthly paying customers. So currently it's not included, but then the team is considering, based on all of your feedback, they're considering to add it to one of the plans. If that comes up, when that comes up, I will definitely communicate like which plan it is mapped to, and if you have purchased the deal, you will be getting the access to chatbots as well. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So Daniel, please let us know if there is like a follow-up question. Dan, I'll come back to your question shortly. So and Corey wants to know, is this only for Shopify customers? Corey, absolutely it is not. You can use it for any of your website, any of the business. Even if you have just a blog where you want to collect inquiries, even for the guest posts, you want to keep it organized and so on, you can still use Simpu. Simpu is like kind of like universal, regardless of whichever business that you're running. You could be running an agency, consulting, coaching, training, course creation, creator, or e-commerce store. It could be like any kind of business. You can have a SaaS product. Yeah, just anything under the sky. You can use it. But the thing is like, with Shopify, there is a deep integration, which means like Shopify, you're going to be running your e-commerce store when the stock runs out, or people who have purchased from you directly with the help of the integration, you can see all the customer data on your right-hand side while you are having the conversation with your customers. So that is how the deep integration comes into the picture. Like it could be for Shopify or WooCommerce or Magento. For these ones, you have like deep integration, and that is where the advantage comes in if you're an e-commerce store owner. But otherwise, you can use it for every single business that you have. And can we create sub-accounts? So, Corey, if Collins and Balaji, please correct me if I got it wrong. So, to answer Corey's question, so can you create sub-accounts? So currently, you can consider sub-accounts more like a team feature. Say you want to use it for one of your clients. You're handling support for one of your clients. You can create a team account where you can invite your client, and you or someone from your team can also be there inside the team. You can address those questions. That can be considered as a sub-account. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yes, yes, you can actually set up an account. Yes, pretty much. That's correct.
Perfect. However, if you want to have like a whole new brand for a separate organization, then you have to consider like buying like a different set of tiers for that particular business. For example, say I have a SaaS mantra, and I'm going to have like a growth mantra or events mantra, which are going to be completely different businesses. Then in those cases, I'm going to be having like a bunch of people who's not even working for SaaS mantra. They're completely different set of people who wants to manage on their own. Then I have to buy a separate deal for them for that particular business. But otherwise, you can pretty much manage everything under like a single workspace. If you and your clients are comfortable with that, say I'm offering like a chat support as a service, then I can manage, say, like a support mantra, for instance. Inside support mantra, I can have client ABC, client EFG, and client XYZ, and so on. I can have under the same account.
Yeah.
Okay, glad I got it right. So Corey, I hope that answers your question. And anyone else who is watching this, if you had a question around that, please let us know. We are happy to address. And Corey also had another question. Can Simpu be used not for sales? If you have a talk show, could this be used as an opportunity to direct followers or fans looking for opportunities to connect with the respective departments, careers promotions, giveaways, etc.? That's an excellent use case. Yes, you can totally do that. Like you can basically create like multiple inboxes. You can connect with each of those inboxes, like one for sales, one for promotions, one for giveaways, one for partnership opportunities, and so on.
Yeah.
So while I'm addressing this question, which Balaji has done, so I have a follow-up question here. So say, is it possible for me to say questions are coming into hello@saasmentor.com? Can I integrate directly with Simpu, or should I also create? I mean, do I get like extra email that I have to do a forward? So is it like a direct deep integration, or is it just going to be a forwarder? How does it work?
So we have both options. So if you have direct, if you're using G Suite or Outlook for the email, you can just connect it directly and connect it simple. But if you actually use maybe Zoho or use some other platform, we can actually forward the emails directly into Simple. So we sort of offer all of the options for emails, both direct connections on or forwarded emails to the same account.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you can pretty much do it here. So this is the part where you just forward. You set it up and then you can forward the emails.
Excellent. So thanks for that. And Daniel has another question. So can you please explain the tiers offered and what team inboxes mean? So Daniel, since the question is like quite kind of like an overview, I'm happy to take this one. So when you say like tiers offered, so we basically have like 4 tiers, as you know. Tier 1 and 2 is mapped to one plan, tier 3 and 4 mapped to the other plan. You can create as many team inboxes that you want to. For example, say there's going to be like a team inbox where I'm going to be having my email and Collins and Balaji's email in one, which is going to be like pre-sales support, for example. That's going to be a team inbox where all the questions that are being shot to Collins, to Balaji, and to me directly, we can use that space where all of us can take on the questions that's coming in. And that could be like another inbox where it's going to be for support that's being sent direct to support@SaaSmentor, where I can be a part of that. It's just going to be like me and my support team who is going to be looking at that, and Collins and Balaji, they won't be having access to that team inbox. So that is how it works. Did I get that right, Collins?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Daniel,
absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for the double confirmation. So Daniel, I hope that answers your question. So please let us know if not. Or please let us know if you have a follow-up question to that. So Dan has a question. So Collins and Balaji, to you guys. So what can guests do? There is a feature, there is an option, user permission for guests. So what do they get for a guest?
For a guest. So guests don't have the abilities to, I'm just gonna, share my screen again. So guests have slightly limited abilities. They can see conversations, but they don't have, I would say they have a limited time span where you could have them on the platform, and they don't necessarily have to have the official domain from the business. So for example, if you actually sign up Simple, everybody in Simple, we use the same domain, right? So guests are for those use cases where you can actually just invite them, and they are specifically invited to certain inboxes. You have to specify the inbox that the guest is invited into. I think that's largely the difference. Just being able to invite them specifically only into certain inboxes. Okay, so would guests be considered as a team member or no? No, it will be view-only data, view-only type scenario. So especially when you're working with a client and you want to allow them to see some of the stuff, then you can invite them in. That's what it's slightly limited, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that helps. And moving down, we had, how can an agency use Tier 4 with its clients? So Dan, as I was mentioning,
Collins, may I take this question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. So Dan, as I was mentioning earlier, if you're an agency and if you're offering like a support for some of your clients, then you can say the agency is going to be known as like a Dan's agency, for example, right? And you're going to have like 4 clients who you want to manage support inside your agency. So it's going to be like the workspace is going to be known as like Dan's agency. Client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, you can manage, you can create like 4 team inbox, and you can invite your clients to client 1, client 2, client 3, and client 4. They cannot see each other. So all the incoming questions for client 1 will be accessed only in that particular inbox, which means you will have access and your client 1 will have access, and any other team member that you're going to invite, they can have access only to this inbox. Same applies for client 2, client 3, and client 4 as well. So if these 4 clients have Shopify stores, so Collins, so if they have Shopify stores, can I embed a different Shopify store for each of the inbox?
Yes, you can. So you can set up as many Shopify stores based on the plan, what the plan is offering you. You can set up. So again, like you're saying, if you set up client 1, you can actually include their own Shopify integration directly into client 1 and client 2 and client 3. So you can actually manage the entire thing in one place.
Wow, that is nice build up. I mean, like honestly, from having worked with like hundreds of SaaS companies, most companies don't get that right in the first attempt. Like they will either have like something set up on the account level and not on the inbox level. So that's like a fantastic setup.
They can do that.
Yeah.
So you can see the connections here. You can actually bring in as many store connections based on your accounts, and you can then connect them to specific inboxes.
Interesting, very interesting. So Dan and everyone, so if you think that's like a really wonderful thought process that went into the product, please type 100 in chat so we will know that amount of work that these guys have put in. So just going to go back, and we have had a couple of the questions in the Facebook group meanwhile during the live. So one of them is like, say I have my Gmail G Suite connected, and one of the support questions have come in. Say someone has asked us for a refund, for example, for one of the products. Now, if the same customer is going to be contacting us after like several months, so say someone has contacted like in January, and today they have contacted inquiring about Simpu's deal. Now, would this be considered as 2 different conversations, or is it going to be like same conversation because they are coming from the same customer? How does it work?
Sorry, can you take that again?
Yeah. So say Steve has contacted back in January this year, but that was a direct email from Steve inquiring about a refund, which Steve wanted in January, January 2023. Now, in October, Steve is going to respond to one of our promotional emails asking more information about Simpu before Steve makes a purchase. Now, it's the same customer, but 2 different conversations. So would Simpu consider that as 2 different conversations, or is it just the same conversation? Because it's from the same customer.
It's considered as 2 different conversations because they're clearly 2 different conversations. So Simpu saves them as 2 different conversations. Except if you then say you want to merge the conversations together as one, then you can merge it together.
Okay, so I can basically merge it together easily. I mean, all the customer. I mean, for one customer, all the conversation that can be merged.
Yeah, you can merge conversations here.
Is it possible to set up the merging in a easier way? Like, can I just type the customer email and can I merge it all? What's the easiest way to do that?
So we're adding new automations to our rules, and we'll be able to it's not available right now, but we'll be able to do that as a rule, because that makes it much easier for Simpu to be able to find those conversations and merge it for you. But right now it's a bit more manual than automated. But soon you'll be able to get that feature. It's some of the things that we have gotten feedback from customers that we're working on.
Okay, interesting. Because the question has to come from someone from on Facebook group from Mariana, and also based on what Dan just asked about the e-commerce Shopify store. So if someone has purchased something from like a year ago, and then today the same customer comes back, I must be able to see the history and also all the conversation being merged into a single conversation. That would be a fantastic place to look at. And as far as I know, none of the products do that. Like you cannot merge it that easily.
Yeah, I think another thing I also like to add is if it's the same channel that the customer has been interacting with, we also have like some form of logs. So we also provide like logs where you can also track like past interactions, and you can also like get views into what has happened in the past. So probably the same channel that the customer has been interacting with. Yeah.
So can you see this? So we keep logs. So as far as they're on the same channel, we actually keep logs. We keep conversations, and then we also keep logs, and we also keep the log history of the conversation, so that it's easier for you to find and trace what was said by some other team member that is maybe probably doesn't work in the company anymore. At least you can see what they did in that conversation to get a good sense of that. And then of course
there is also
notes. We also allow you to actually drop notes, and in these notes you can actually keep, and it's just for the record. Let me just do this and say this is a test. Say test, and I can add these notes. And once this note syncs, it pretty much just saves it up here in the note section, and then you can just sort of tie this. Let me see. Let me do this in my, maybe this is Safari. Let me do this in my Chrome. Safari is a weird browser. So but then the whole point is you're able to set up a note and then just sort of drop it in, and sort of just show in your notes, in your note section. I don't know if there are any conversations that have notes. I probably would look for them. But yeah, that's the whole part of just dumping in data, notes, conversations, logs. We keep all the historical data.
Nice. Thanks for that. So, and Daniel has another question. What is a tier for sub account? So, Daniel, depending on how many team inboxes like each of the tiers allow, you can have as many as you wanted to. So that is how it works. So I'm just not sure what do you mean by tier for sub accounts. Could you please rephrase that question for me so that we can explain that further? Meanwhile, I'm gonna take a couple of the questions. So David, who is not here, but then he has asked a question in the Facebook Live, which is currently being streamed as well. So is there a recent email function? For example, say if I'm going to be like sending an email to a customer and the customer has not responded to my email. Say, for example, someone has asked for a refund, but then we usually ask like, hey, why do you would like to go for a refund? We'd love to understand what is it that we have failed. Also, please let us know if you would like a refund as stored credits or back to your payment source, but then the customer has not responded. So is it possible to automatically resend the email to the customer after several days or several hours? Would that be doable?
Not at the moment. So what the customer is talking about is sequencing. So you can actually sequence a bunch of emails after another. That's product features that we have along our down our roadmap actually. Okay. But right now, no, that doesn't exist. But it's one of the requested features actually. One of our requested features.
Seems to be an interesting feature. Yeah, totally. Yeah. As long as it's in the roadmap, I'm happy to see that. Yeah. Great. He has like multiple questions. So that's one. And second one is like, can we highlight text to comments? So when we're responding to like some of the text or something, is it possible to highlight anything when we're responding to the customer's queries? Is it possible to do that?
That's I mean, highlighted text to comments. I'm kind of a bit confused. You mean like when you're responding to say
yes,
I kind of
something
get what
like that.
Saying.
Yes.
So you're something like this and then reply, no, but that's a nifty thing that we can add. We can look at it.
Yeah.
We can definitely look at it. It's quite a nifty. I mean, that's a feature that we will take down notes on this one. I think this is quite nifty.
Yeah.
That's nifty.
Seems very interesting one.
Yeah, that's interesting actually.
Yeah,
but we don't have it to answer. We don't have it, but this is good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be passing the credits back to David in the Facebook group after this webinar. So I'll just tell him like personally, like Colin seems to be super excited about this question. So I'm going to tell him. So, and he has like more questions, more interesting ones. So is it possible to schedule the schedule the response or like snooze or something like team chat and so on? So for example, there's a conversation that came in on Friday evening, but there is no one around. And then there could be some more questions coming in on like Saturday and Sunday, but then on Monday I'm going to be on week off. So I want one of my colleagues to look into that. So is it possible for me to snooze that in the team feature so that Monday this one pops up all the way up to the top? Is it possible to do that?
I think that we have a. I'm not so sure, but I think we have a snooze feature. We do have a snooze feature, but let me just double check to be sure. We do have a snooze feature. Yes, we do. So we allow you snooze, based on, but not to specific team members, but just basically the standard snooze that a Gmail supports. You can snooze to a specific time or a specific day, but then it will just archive it and then bring it back up. But not like you can specify that snooze it and send it to Bolaji, not that, but just basic snooze. We support snooze, right?
Perfect. So snooze is supported. That's fantastic. And is it also possible to schedule the email, the responses? Is it possible to schedule, say, email has to go out not now, but on Monday?
No, not now, but once we're done with that sequencing feature, it will be able to do that. It's part of the sequencing feature set.
Okay, nice. And is it possible to save the draft, the responses or something? So say I have an intern who has recently joined, and that intern has organize some responses, but then the intern is not sure because she's like newly joined us, and then she wants a senior to look into the responses. So, but then I want the intern to compose the responses and save it as draft. Is it possible to do that?
So we do. We support drafts. So we support drafts. Yeah, we support drafts, and then drafts can also be found on the right corner. So if you're responding and you want to just keep it, it would save the draft for you. I think it's done automatically. The same way, so you can actually then find all your drafts in like one on the sidebar menu. So all the person needs to do is just write and just leave it. It would save the draft and keep it for you here.
Nice. And Dan and Daniel, I'm not skipping you guys. It's just that David's questions have come up before you guys. So I'm just going like one by one. So please bear with me. I'll definitely shoot your questions. So please bear with me for a while. So, and do you plan to build something that competes with Missive or Front App? So is it Simpu getting there to compete with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're just 6 months down the line to be a complete front replacement, actually. Because we've gone far. We've done like a bunch of stuff to be really a Missive front direct. I mean, even right now we're replacing front at a number of companies, but the one feature that we don't have is the sequencing that that you've been talking about lately, sequencing, and just a bunch of more integrations, and I think we're great. We have brought AI and a bunch of other things to Simpu, and we're going to keep just working on all of these things even more.
Perfect. Yeah, great. So, and just one other question from David before I take on Dan and Daniel's question. So, when is the iOS and Android app coming? Would it be a full-featured native app like a desktop?
Oh yeah, interesting thing is, so Simpu exists already. I don't know. So this is Simpu on Android. This is on a Pixel. I'm not sure whether I'm not sure. Let me kind of turn on my blur. I think it's affecting one of my blur. Can you see if you can you guys see this? This is Simpu on Android.
We can.
This is on a Pixel, and Simpu also exists on iOS. This is Simpu on iOS as well. This is Simpu on iOS as well. Yeah, so it actually works. We're using it internally. We haven't just exposed it out to, we're doing a bunch of like beta work on it. I mean, we have users are using it right now, but it's on beta. And I'm sure Bolaji can communicate when it's live to customers. But yeah, we use it internally. We use it internally.
Yeah, thanks for that. So I was just telling Balaji during one of our conversations before the launch. I think it was like a couple of weeks before the launch. I'm just waiting for Simpu's iOS app to completely switch from Freshdesk to Simpu. Like we are waiting to switch to Simpu. So
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the iOS
yes,
app. Once that is done, we'll be switching completely.
yeah.
Because Team Inbox is one of the features that we definitely wanted to have, and Simpo seems to be having. I really love the conversation style that you guys have built, especially the UI.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, no offense, but then Freshdesk UI is like it's kind of like dated, and some of my teammates, two of my teammates, they personally hate me because
Yeah.
I am forcing them to use Freshdesk. So they told me on face.
I know the sentiment.
So they
I know the
personally told me,
sentiment.
Sampath, can we switch to a different app, something that looks modern? So we are like kind of like a 90s. So can we switch? And they are like Gen Z guys.
Yeah,
So they are like
I
born
can
after 2000. So
imagine.
yeah, they personally told me like one
Yeah.
of them was interns and week one, believe it or not, week one they told me. So are we planning to upgrade?
Yeah,
I thought like what kind of
yeah,
upgrade?
yeah. I just sent this message from my Pixel right now. This one
Okay.
I'm highlighting on the screen, like because I mean it's the same conversation. I just did it on the phone and then it's already on the web, pretty much. So yeah, we're almost there. But like it's in Bolaji's hands right now, if he
Okay.
wants to use this on the mobile apps.
Okay. Okay. Balaji, you have to rescue me here from my interns. Please do that
Interestingly,
soon.
I mean, interestingly, I think I've been dropping it to a couple of members in the community, like people that are like interested in getting early access and fill our form so that we can start to like roll out the mobile apps to people on the first come first basis. I mean, we're already doing that. Like Collins already mentioned, a couple people are already using the mobile app to talk to their customers on the go, and people that are interested in getting early access before we do the public launch can fill our form and yeah, review it and grant access. So I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
can give
Sign me
us
up.
feedback as well. Sure, sure. So I'll drop the form.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to hear that. Glad it's coming this year. I mean, within this quarter, so which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
can't
it's
wait to
coming.
switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Dan has a question. Can we use Simpu in any language for the front end? Is it translatable?
If you have a tool on your browser that does that, it would work. But like it's basically English at the moment. But I wouldn't say this quarter where we would have language packs, but maybe subsequently next year we'll be able to include like language packs as once we're able to study the data of the community and just sort of look at the demography, we're able to use that data to inform the language packs that we would introduce. But right now it's currently in English. But if you have a tool on your browser that automatically translates it, it would work fine.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And Dan also has another question. So can we add in the same account multiple tier 4, so each in one workspace? So Dan, do you mean like buying like multiple tier 4 and then using one for each workspace? If that is your question, then you can totally do that. You can have maximum of tier 4 for each workspace. Yes, you can do that. Like for example, I want to have like a tier 4 for SaaS mantra, tier 4 for events mantra, tier 4 for support mantra, tier 4 for growth mantra. I can totally do that. Yes, you can. I mean, if you have like 4 clients or like multiple clients and you have different brands, you want to have like tier 4 for each of those workspaces, you can totally do that. And you can manage all of those workspaces from a single login. So you can totally achieve that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to add to what you said. You can have
yes.
multiple workspaces. I mean, Collins, can you navigate to your profile icon so you can show the multiple workspaces you're in? Yes, exactly. You can
let me even show you here. So you can actually see all the multiple workspaces. Can you see it?
Yeah, so you can easily switch between workspaces.
Yeah, you
so
can
far
switch
you have them under the same login.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. And the question from Daniel. So not sure why this is being unanswered. I mean, that was because I was taking a few of the questions, Daniel, and I really appreciate your patience here. So Can you please explain how the Shopify integration works? Does it work? Does it sync with Shopify customers, orders, etc.? I believe yes.
Yes.
Collins?
So once you're doing your integrations, you can specify the data. Let me jump right into it. You can specify the data that you want. We support customers, transactions, orders. So let me see if that is covered. So yeah, it supports orders, customers, pretty much the table that Shopify gives you, you can actually pick. So let's see, you can actually pick the specific data you're looking for so that Simpu can pre-populate, but it's usually customers, orders, transactions, and a bunch of stuff. I just need to double check. Yeah, so yeah, you can pick orders, customers, contacts, products. You can actually pick all of them, but all of that information is already covered in the documentation. I think Bolaji can share the right help documents to help answer that. But yes, we allow you pick the kind of information that you're looking for in Shopify. We kind of made it flexible actually in the process.
Yeah, I think I've shared it to a couple of people that requested. I'll share it to. It's on our website. So I mean, you can manage your orders, transactions, get context when you're responding to customers that are doing Simpu. So when you connect to Shopify accounts.
Yeah, so if you look closely at this screenshot, if you look closely at this on the website, you can actually see orders. You can see lifetime spend, the average order. You can see shipping addresses. You can actually see each of the orders, and you can go through. You can actually click into the orders and actually get that information coming out from Shopify, as it ties down to the same contact email address or phone number, whatever is the unique identifier that Shopify is using to sync that data. And then of course you can also update the customer, because we allow you pull information and we sort of sync it back to Shopify. You can actually update the customer data that is coming from Shopify directly. You can update it directly in Simpu. You can update the order. You can also update the customer detail in real time. So all of this exists, and of course you can actually create new orders directly from Simpu, because again we pull the product data. So you can, in case you're talking to the customer and they say they want to change their order, you can actually create a new order from Simpu, because Simpu has connected the data, custom and product data, and all of that in real time. So you can see all of that information here. And you can actually pick the prices, items, all of that stuff inside of Simpu and save it. And once you save it, it syncs automatically with Shopify. So it's the same data set. I don't think I can hear you. I don't know whether it's me or.
It's not
Sorry, it was me. I was on mute. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, Daniel, you're welcome. Sorry about that. I didn't realize. So finally, with tier 1, can I use it for 3 Shopify stores? Is it possible to use it for 3 different Shopify stores? Like if I have like 3 different team inboxes, can I use it for 3 different Shopify stores?
Yeah, you can. We don't based on the tier pricing plan. If it's supported on the tier pricing plan, it definitely works. We make it quite flexible. You can add multiple Shopify stores to your account. Once you do that, you can then connect it to specific inboxes that you want, and when you jump into those inboxes, you see the exact Shopify store per inbox. So that works.
Okay.
So yeah, if you run your agency dealing with Shopify, that you have Shopify stores as customers, you can actually have 10, 20, 100, pretty much based on what your plan supports, what your pricing plan supports with us. You are able to do that.
Nice. So Daniel, short answer, yes. So, and there's a question from Dan. So what are the percentage what is the probability that we get chatbots in tier 3 or tier 4? So Balaji, over to you. So would chatbots be considered?
So at this point, I mean, the probability is very high with the amount of demand we've been getting. I mean, pretty much half of the questions we've been getting since yesterday is all about chatbots. I mean, interestingly, I mean, with the level we've improved chatbots to, something that by the time we roll it out, a lot of people are really, really going to love it. So most likely we'll be rolling it out to either the tier 3 or tier 4 plans, and that should happen this Q4. Because we also have like so many other amazing updates we're also making to the chatbots, which is going to make it in such a way that when we roll it out, I mean, you guys are going to thank us for it.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a higher chance, high probability than I would say from
very high chance actually.
Okay, now that Collins has said, you can be pretty much assured that's going to be there. So, Colin, Balaji, if we don't hear from you before this weekend, we are probably sending goons to your place to make sure we get chatbots included.
I mean, it's good to happen this Q4. This Q4 is good to happen. Yeah,
I'm just messing with it. There's like the love coming from all the ends. We are pouring you with like a lot of love for the chatbots. Yeah. I mean, there are like a lot of chatbot solutions out there, but then Simpu is like super clean, and having a chatbot on top of like the wonderful product already is going to be like a icing on the cake. It's just going to make the product much more easier, much more of a breeze to use.
Exactly.
Trust me, once the chatbot comes, you will love it. I'm sure you will love it. Once the chatbot comes, you would love it.
I mean, we can't
share the secret right now, but once it launches, once we give it to you, you would love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
So we are going to send you we don't send you goons. Even if we do send you goons, we will send you like a bunch of flowers with the goons. So they are going to be there to hand over the flowers for you.
For sure.
That is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So Dan, I also see that you had a question about Shopify stores. Can you integrate multiple Shopify stores into the same inbox? So the answer is yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, perfect. Yes, so, and the other question is also about Shopify in the chatbots. So Corey, I hope it's okay to dismiss your question, but if there is a detailed question behind that, please let us know. So, so what are banking and payment integrations? From Daniel.
Okay. Right now we currently support so payment integrations for right now. You mean when you want to pay for your subscriptions, or are you talking about payments banking integrations? Because there's two questions. Because if it's banking integrations, we support one core banking integration at the moment. It's one of the most popular that we know. Modern banking solution, in case you want to bring it into Simpu. In case you run a microfinance bank or something, you may try these guys out and get customer information and customer data. But if you're talking about payments, if you want to pay card payments and all of those things, Simpu supports. I think we have Stripe out of the box, and we have a Stripe payment out of the box, and also we do based on like the customer request. Sometimes we could do direct bank payments in case they are in places where the payment is a bit of a hassle. We can always work that out. Bolaji, am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and we've done a very similar integration with the SaaS Mantra team. So I mean, trying to get any of the tiers is also very, very straightforward and seamless. So
perfect. I hope that answers your question, Daniel. So please let us know if there is any follow-up question to that. So meanwhile, we also had plans. I mean, as per the agenda, we had plans to discuss like 3 or 4 of like very interesting use cases for Simpu. But then the webinar was scheduled for like 1 hour. We are well behind the schedule. So here is something, Collins, if you have bandwidth, please let me know. So we could schedule like probably like a kind of like a workshop or webinar style where we could discuss purely about the use cases. Like we could, I mean, my team will start collecting like various use cases for the product, and from the group and also via emails, we'll start collecting as many use cases as possible. depending on, for example, Dan had a question about is it possible to have like multiple Shopify stores, and how effectively we can manage within like single inbox, we can manage the multiple Shopify stores and so on. That's one. And also like the customizable language. So there is going to be like a lot of use cases that's going to keep coming in. So we could collect all of that, and we could organize like a webinar, kind of like a workshop just dedicated for that. Can we do that?
Yeah,
Not today
I think
immediately.
that works. Yeah. Please go ahead with
Yeah.
that. That's fine.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So it's not going to be like immediately, but then probably in a couple of weeks' time. So we could organize a webinar. So we will have enough time to collect as many use cases as possible.
Yeah.
We could totally do a webinar on that. Yeah. Perfect. So if you have like more questions, thanks for that. So thanks for the confirmation. So Daniel, Dan, Corey, and Steve, and Mary, and everyone who is on the live still, I'll also make this as an announcement. So keep your use cases coming in. So this is not going to be the only webinar we are going to be doing it, and we want to be like winding it up only because we are running behind the schedule. So I know like people from different time zone, you'll have different priorities. So we want to be having a conclusion here. So that will be like another session discussing about the use cases and the challenges, like anything that you want to be using Simpu for. We will discuss purely around that. The early bird discount won't be available then, but then we'll make sure to have all of these use cases covered for you. Perhaps we'll also have an announcement on chatbots before that.
Yes, please.
Balaji. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So Balaji smile and Colin's smile means a lot there. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So once again, thank you for making time for today's webinar. So, and
thank you. Absolutely loved it here. Thank you very much, guys, for joining on this call. I totally appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. See you in the next webinar. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.